Hello queens. I'm back at y'all with another client tutorial, and today I'm going to be showing y'all how I created this cool tone rhinestone smoky eye. So without further ado, we're jumping straight into the video. I'm starting this off by cleaning my client's face. Now that her face is all clean, I'm going to begin to fill in her eyebrows, and to do so I'm using my Nicka K brow pencil, and this is in the shade Black Brown. As y'all can see, I went ahead and filled in the back of her eyebrows using the same shade that I used to outline them. Now I'm taking the shade Light Brown and I'm using it to fill in the front. Before I clean up her eyebrows, I'm going in with my Eye Envy clear eyelash glue, and I'm just brushing this throughout her eyebrows to lay the hairs down in place. And to mold them all down, I'm going to be using the spoolie end of my eyebrow pencil. For this video, I teamed up with a brand called Eboot, and as y'all can see, they sent me these 3 metallic brushes, and it's just a flat brush and then it has a removable cap. So this is what I'm going to be using to clean my client's eyebrows, along with these 2 concealers from RK by Kids and Nicka K. First, I'm going in with the Nicka K concealer, which is in the shade 07, and I'm using this to clean up underneath my client's arch. Now that the bottom of her arch is clean, I'm going to go ahead and blend out that concealer, and for the remainder of the way on the top and the bottom of her eyebrows, I'm just going to be using the shade Toast. Now that both brows have been cleaned, I'm going in with my Dermablend translucent powder and I'm pressing this throughout the front of her eyebrows to lighten them up. For an eyeshadow base, I'm going in with my e.l.f. Camo Concealer, and this is in the shade White. I went ahead and applied some to her eyelids. Now I'm just blending it out. For this entire look, I'm going to be going in with eyeshadows from my Morphe 35B palette. So first I'm going in with this dark purple shade, and I'm packing this on the outer edge of my client's eye using this dense eyeshadow brush. I did mention this brush in my recent brush video, so if you're interested in it, I recommend that you go watch that video after you finish this one, and I might have it linked in the description box. But next, I'm going in with this lighter purple shade, also from the Morphe palette, and I'm using this as a transition. So I'm packing this around the edges of the first color that we used just to blend it all out, and the blending brush that I'm using comes from Shop Miss A. Next, I'm going in with this blue shade, and I'm going to be packing this in front of that dark purple shade. And to pack this shade on, I'm using a Wet n Wild type of blending brush. Now I'm going in with this neon green shade, and we're going to be packing this in front of the blue. And to pack it on, I'm using an e.l.f. eyeshadow brush. Last but not least, I'm going in with a white eyeshadow, and I'm using this to set the inner corners of her eye. Now that the eyeshadow look is complete, I'm going to be going in with these rhinestones that were also sent to me from the brand Eboot. And these are flat back rhinestones, and to apply them, I'm first going in with my adhesive. This is just some clear eyelash glue, and I'm mapping out the placement of my rhinestones. Then I'm going to be picking them up with the glue applicator and just placing them on the dots. I initially applied the crystals in the shape of a triangle. Then I decided to go in with some smaller crystals around them just to add a little bit more dimension to this look. I'm going in with my Wet n Wild black liquid liner, and I'm using this to line her eyes. Now that her eyes are lined, I'm going in with some black eyeshadow mixed with a little bit of that dark purple, and I'm using it to fade out the end of her liner. To finish off this look, I'm going in with this pigment from P. Louise. It's like a white gold shade, and I'm just pressing this on top of her eyeshadow using this e.l.f. eyeshadow brush. I did not go in with an adhesive. Since this is a pigment, you don't have to go in with one. Moving on to the face, I went ahead and cleaned and moisturized her face off camera using my Pond's moisturizer. Now I'm going in with my e.l.f. matte poreless putty primer, and I'm just applying this throughout her face. My client has dry skin, so I will not be going in with my calamine lotion. When I get clients with dry skin, I just like to go in with the e.l.f. matte poreless putty primer, and that's the only one I really need to use. For her foundation, I'm going in with my Fit Me foundation, and this is in the shade Nutmeg. Some of y'all might begin to notice that as I was applying this foundation, it started oxidizing and turning like this reddish orange tone, which almost freaked me out because that has never happened with me with this foundation before. I've never experienced that, but we're gonna fix everything with highlighting. So I'm going in with my Nicka K concealer, this in the shade 07, and I'm just applying this to the areas that we would typically highlight. To blend out the concealer, I'm going in with the same brush that I used to blend out her foundation, just because I want everything to blend together well and be as seamless as possible. I'm going to let the concealer under her eyes sit a little longer, and I'm just going to proceed to contouring her nose. So I'm using my Juvia's Place foundation stick in the shade Katsina, and I'm taking it on this dense eyeshadow brush, and I'm just using this to map out my shape. Then once I have all the lines in place, I'm just going to drag this product down. This is the technique that I use to blend out the lines, and once I have them all blended out, I usually like to go on top of it with my foundation brush just to make sure that it's as seamless as possible. Y'all know I love a nice seamless blend. But now I'm going to go ahead and blend out the concealer that I have under her eyes, and to do so I'm using my damp Real Technique sponge. To set the concealer in place, I'm going in with my Fit Me pressed powder, and this is in the shade Warm Caramel. I'm going on top of that Fit Me powder with my Morphe loose powder, and this is in the shade Banana. To set all over her face, I'm going in with another Fit Me pressed powder, and this one is in the shade Truffle. This is also going to help take away some of that reddish orange tone that the foundation gave me. To bronze up her face, I'm going in with my Black Radiance pressed powder, and this is in the shade Black Coffee. I went ahead and lined about half of her waterline with some black liner. Now I'm going in with all the eyeshadows that I use on her lids, and I'm just going to place them on her lower lash line. I'm going back in with that foundation brush, and I'm going to use it to press in and dust away all of the powder that I have on her face. I'm going to go ahead and spray her face with some setting spray to lock everything in. Now I'm going in with some lashes. These are some medium thick lashes that I ordered from Amazon, and I cut them to fit her eyes off camera. Now I'm just placing them on her lids. While her lashes are drying, I'm going to go ahead and highlight her face. And to highlight her face, I'm using one of the highlighters from my Be Perfect Carnival XL palette. Now it's time to do her lips. I went ahead and cleaned and moisturized them off camera. Now I'm going in with my Wet n Wild brown liner, and I'm using this to outline her lips. For the center of her lips, I'm going in with this lip gloss from OZ Lab, and it's in the shade number 1. And after I have that all blended into her liner, I decided to go on top of it with a clear lip gloss. Once I'm finished with her lips, we'll be getting into the grand reveal, so I'm just gonna let y'all watch. Okay, ready to see?
Yes. Oh my god. This is so pretty.
It goes with your hair.
Oh my god. I love it. This is so pretty.
Thank you.
I'm definitely coming back.
Period. Okay, queens, that is the end of this video. As y'all can see by my client's reaction, this tutorial was another success. Y'all already know I love doing these bold and colorful looks, so I think this came out perfect. If you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and follow me on Instagram. A link will be in the description box down below. But thank you so much for tuning in, and I hope you come back next week and tune in again. Bye bye, queens.